One. Hey everybody, Sloppy Joe here, or just Joe, or Sloppy Joe in Seattle, whatever you want to call me. I haven't made a video in a long time, but I just wanted to put this together real quick. I've been in the process this winter. I started in November of doing a driveline restoration on my Alfa Romeo. Well, I can show you a little bit real quick. It's kind of under the covers. But you can see here I've got an engine removed, the driveline, the rear suspension, the Dion, and the transaxle are all out of the car. The transmission itself, or the transaxle, that's off being rebuilt. The heads of the car are off being rebuilt. And currently we are sitting on, I've got the engine block here, as you can see. And this engine block actually has very little signs of high mileage. It's a fairly low mileage engine block. So we're kind of just doing a freshening up on the engine block itself, cleaning off all the grime, replacing all the seals, gaskets, things like this. The engine compartment will get a clean up. I'm going to get rid of all the unnecessary hoses, things like that. Just clean it up, make it look fresh, as modern as I can in the terms of, instead of the old way of the Italians just kind of snaking hoses and wires every which way, trying to clean it up, make it as clean and pretty as possible. But the purpose of this video is I wanted to talk a little bit about this tool, and I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've watched other reviews of the Harbor Freight Earthquake XT 12 volt 3/8 ratchet. So this is what it is here. And like I said, I'm sure you guys have watched other videos. If you're watching this video, it's probably not the first video you came across about this tool. I did some reviewing and watched several videos about this tool online on YouTube before I decided to purchase it. And I decided to purchase this tool to aid with the disassembly of my engine block, my, all bits and pieces and parts underneath the hood, under the car, the driveline, suspension, things like that. Just because you do get into some tight spaces, especially with an Alfa Romeo, and you just can't really work a ratchet, something like this just makes life a lot easier, especially if you're under the car and you're in a weird position, or your arms up over your head and you gotta wrench away. It just makes life a little bit easier. It's not teeny tiny, so it won't fit into every little nook and cranny and crevice, but it'll fit into a lot of places and make life a lot easier. It does come with a charger and one battery. Battery life is pretty good. I've spent many nights out here in the garage, working for 3, 4, 5 hours at a time and just disassembling things, and I've never killed the battery. I've always run it, and then when I'm done with it, just put it in the charger, go inside, for a few hours or even overnight, come back and it's charged. It's fine. It's pretty quiet. So I had considered in my garage shop putting an air compressor with lines and air tools, but air tools are loud, and then that's just a lot of hassle with running lines and compressors and things like that. So I decided to go this route, and for the $120 I paid for it, it seemed like a good deal. Definitely worth trying, but let's talk about things that it is and things that it is not. So first and foremost, it is not an impact or anything like that. So if nuts and bolts, things like that, are really, really torqued on, this is not going to break them loose. So it is not an impact. So just think about that. You can put it on a bolt or a nut, and you can manually wrench, get it started. And once you've broken loose, then you can go into your ratcheting mode, and that makes life great. It comes advertised at 60 foot-pounds, but that is That is probably in perfect lab conditions under ideal circumstances, the temperature, the humidity in the room, and all that kind of stuff, because this probably, at very best, maybe gets 40 foot-pounds, I would say. Definitely not 60. I have looked online and compared other tools, and AC Delco actually makes a tool that is probably the exact same tool as this, comes probably out of the same factory. As far as I can see, the housing and all that is exactly the same. The rubber grip, it's almost the same tool, right in the same price category. So I'm assuming it's the same private label tool, comes out of the same factory that Harbor Freight buys from. And it is in the similar price point of that $99 to $129, just depending where you buy. That all being said, it is very great. It is handy. The housing is all metal, so it's built well. It's durable. The only thing I would have liked to have seen, but I understand it for the price point, is a lot of tools now are going brushless. And brushless motors are great. One of the things in my line of work that I do is I am a DeWalt rep among 50 other hats that I wear. But one of the hats that I wear is a DeWalt rep. And DeWalt cordless tools are great. You know, for doing a lot of the impacts, I have 1/2 inch impacts, 1/4 inch impacts, which are all brushless. Great tools. Brushless is awesome, but that comes also with higher end tools. For the $99 to $129 that this will cost you, it's fine. This will probably still last you, especially for a guy like me who is restoring cars is a hobby. It's not an everyday thing. But for an everyday guy, an everyday professional mechanic, something like this probably would live a fair amount of time in their toolbox before it died or needed to be replaced. And I know Harbor Freight does the extended warranties, things like that. So that might be something worth considering when you purchase this. If you purchase this, maybe get an extended warranty, and it's a no questions asked. You bring it in, you swap it out, and you're done. You're back to work. So it's quiet. It's easily forward and reverse. I mean, it's just a little switch here on the back. Forward, reverse. All there is to that. Other than that, I mean, it cleans up well. I've used this for a lot of parts on here. And like I said, especially when you just don't want to sit there and just wrench off bolt after bolt after bolt. For the sake of saving some time, this is nice. Because, I come out here, during the week, on days off, I don't go to the gym. If I decide I'd come out here, spend a couple hours, I'd rather those couple hours I spend out here be productive and not use up a lot of time messing around with wrenches, things like that. So this does help. You can feather I guess we call it the trigger. You can feather it for speed, so it's not just an on-off, one speed. You can feather it, so that's cool. But other than that, I mean, like I said, it comes with, decent hard case, the charger, one battery, extra batteries. I know they can be had in store. I believe they're $29, I think I saw them for. So extra batteries are available, but so far with just one battery, I have not had a problem. I haven't killed it or anything like that. So I don't suspect, unless you're using it all day and forget to charge it, and then you go to work with it the next day, you might have an issue. But for charging, using, and then charging again overnight, or even for a couple hours, you'd probably be more than fine. But like I said, it's a great tool. It weighs in. I did see another YouTube review. It weighed in at 2.9 pounds. I think it was 2 pounds 15.1 ounces. So it's a 3 pound tool. It's not light. It's not heavy. It's just, hey, it's a metal housing and an electric motor. And then the end is, of course, it's some pretty heavy duty steel. So you expect it to have some weight to it. But that all being said, it feels pretty robust. It feels like something that's going to last a fair amount of time. If you guys are like me, I take care of my tools, so I use them, I wipe them down, I clean them up. I don't just let them kind of get nasty, gross, and beat on them too bad. I try to take care of things. I work hard for my money. I want my dollar to stretch, and if I can save a little bit of money on a decent tool that will help me in my garage, but also allow me to keep some money in my pocket to put into the car or the engine or the transmission or whatever it is, something to make the car better versus sinking all my money into expensive tools, I'm all for that. I need a tool that's going to help me in the garage be more efficient, do a good job. But if I can save some money and put it into the car, that's my personal feeling on it. I know a lot of guys will poo-poo Harbor Freight and tools like that, but Harbor Freight has its place. If you're a professional mechanic, I get it. If you're a person like me who would rather save a little bit of money on their tools, but still buy something quality that will work in the garage for a number of years, a decade, and allow you to save hundreds or thousands of dollars, but still do the same job, and all that money saved can be put into your project, that's my mindset on it. I know some guys, hey, if you got really, really deep pockets and you can afford, much higher quality tools, more power to you. I'm not knocking it. Do it if you can. I'm not in that position. I have to be smart with my money. Plus, I have a wife who likes to monitor things. So if my spending gets a little wacky, I hear about it. So we try to avoid those. Issues as much as possible. But that all being said, this is a pretty decent tool. If you're thinking about picking one up, try it out. Why not? Harbor Freight's warranty and their exchanges and things like that are pretty good. I haven't had to actually return or exchange anything. So from everything I've heard, it's pretty decent. You won't have that big of an issue. But for the $100, I believe you can find these for sometimes when there's coupons out. Check online. Sometimes you can find coupons that people post from all over the country, and your local store will honor coupons from other states and cities and things like that. So if you find something, use it to your advantage. Pick one of these up. It's great for the money. I think it definitely will save you some time, some effort, some energy, and even save you a little bit of cash. And even if you're not a professional mechanic, so it's all pluses. But like I said, just recognize it's not an impact tool. If something's really torqued down, it's not going to break it loose. It's just not going to. So don't expect that. Don't expect something that's going to be featherweight. It's not crazy heavy, but it's not lightweight either. But that's okay. A little bit of weight to me means robustness, which means it'll have some longevity to it. I'm okay with that. And after that, just recognize that, you might have to, screw down some nuts and bolts, things like that. And then you might have to go back and give them a little bit of extra nudge, or you definitely have to torque them to a proper spec, whatever. But for getting a broken bolt off really fast and then getting it back on and then giving it its final nudge, perfect tool for that. You can, like I said, when I went around and did like the upper and lower oil pan for that engine block I showed you, there's probably, 2 dozen bolts on the top and bottom pans. This made easy work of it. It made what would have taken me just wrenching away for probably, 5 minutes per pan, the upper pan and the lower pan. I went at it with this and I had it off in a matter of, a couple minutes. So it works great. And being that the block's aluminum and the pans are aluminum, you have to worry about stripping, things like that. So with this, when I put it all back together, it's just a matter of getting it on there, getting it tight, and then final tightening everything just by hand, because again, it's aluminum, so you don't want to strip anything out. But this would make a meal out of getting all those bolts in and just torqued slightly, and then I can go back by hand and give it everything. But it's a time saver, and it saved me some money as far as some equivalent tools that are from Snap-on, Milwaukee, etc., which are 2, 3, 4 times the price. So I think for us home guys, our hobby mechanics, guys who like to restore cars on their free time, like me, it's a good time, money saver. Put the money back into your project versus in your toolbox. That's my personal feeling. So for me, this I'd say is a 10 out of 10. It checks all the boxes that I expect it to check. Realistically, would I like it to really be a 60 foot-pound tool? Sure, absolutely. But, when they put these numbers on the box, either they're fluffing it, flat out lying, or it's under the most ideal, perfect conditions. So it's one of those, but that's fine. I know what to expect out of this, and I get what I expect. So that all being said, if you're thinking about picking one up, why not try it? Best case scenario, you can find it for $100. You're not really losing out that bad. If you don't like it, give it to a friend who will appreciate it, because every guy could use something like this in their personal garage. Just makes life a little easier. So that's it. I think it's a good tool. It's a good buy. It's a good value. Decent enough tool, decent enough quality, does a decent enough job, and that's it. So hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, whatever, who cares? I know everyone throws it out there. I don't really care, but just hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this was informative. Have fun.